Welcome to Knifemaking.com. Today we're going to take a look at how to repair an error made while electro etching a blade. Now over the years I've done a lot of nautical themed blades, a lot of them with a sea turtle design. Most of them have a dark background and a positive image, which means that the fish and the turtle, the bold lines, the shark are all shiny and the background is dark. I was trying to up my game a little bit and experiment with different types of etching. I decided to do a sea turtle themed blade, but do it kind of opposite. So instead of having each element, each fish, a separate cutout that I would then place on the blade, I laid out the entire blade design on the Silhouette Cameo software. And then I printed this all out as one piece. And that entire piece is going to get transferred onto the blade, with the object being that the background, or the sea, the water, would end up getting masked by the vinyl, or covered by the vinyl. And I would weed out and expose whatever I wanted to be electro etched. That's what I've done here. Now this particular video is not about doing the etching. It's kind of saving this project after I screwed it up. So this is ready for the first etch. It was going to be a two-tone etch, with the plan being that everything that's exposed here is going to be darker, and then after that's etched, like now, I remove the bottom sea, or the bottom sand and coral, and I'm going to etch that for a smaller amount of time, so it's a lighter etch. I had the bright idea of using a piece of paper towel, which had a texture to it, a little dot texture. So I etched through that paper towel, and I ended up with these dots all over. It was really just not the look I was going for. I didn't like it at all. I tried to sand it off and just wasn't having it. So anyway, this video is just going to show you how I was able to go back and salvage the blade and end up with a really nice distinction between the coral and the bottom, the sea bottom. So this is the blade after the original etching. And you can see, all of those little dots. Those are all the texture that transferred from leaving a piece of paper towel in between my electro etching pad and the blade. So I transferred that pattern onto the blade. What I did, since I had done this all in the computer, is I just printed out the exact shape that I wanted to mask. So this is going to cover everything that I've etched and leave exposed that area that has the paper towel pattern on it, so that I can etch that darker. I'm using a clear transfer film applied to that self-adhesive vinyl. I'm just going to cut this out. And then I'm going to remove the white backing paper from the vinyl. So now I've got the vinyl adhered to a transfer film, and that clear film is going to allow me to look through it and line it up perfectly. So it took a few tries without pressing it down. As soon as you make contact, it's going to stick. But you just line it absolutely up perfectly, and then I can place that vinyl where I want it on the blade. Once that vinyl is adhered, I can remove the transfer film. And now this vinyl is protecting all of the good etching, on the blade, the sea turtle and all of the fish and all of the coral. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to electro etch what's exposed here, and hopefully cover up that texture from the paper towel. So I'm using a 12-volt car battery charger set at 2 amps. My etching plate, you notice that I'm just changing the direction of it. I'm not leaving it on for a long duration. The total time of this etch is going to be about a minute, in 10 seconds or 20-second intervals. You don't want it to get real hot where that vinyl is going to lose its adhesion. And I want just a random pattern from the texture of this gauze, which is wrapped around the etching plate. And I want it to be, dark enough but I don't want it to be as dark as the original coral. I still want that two-tone effect. So I'm going to use a little 400 grit paper, sandpaper, just to clean up one spot to see if I've got the texture that I'm looking for. And if I didn't, I could certainly etch it for a longer period of time. This looks good to me. I'm going to peel off that mask that I had cut out. Just keeping my fingers crossed. I really did not want to throw out this blade. I'm going to clean up the entire blade now. This is, I think, a 320 grit paper. And thankfully, I was very happy with the results. So really, this is just a demonstration that during the knife making process, a lot of people, including me, make mistakes all the time. Don't throw out those blades. You know, give it a good thought at how you can go back and rectify or fix whatever the problem was. In this case, I definitely was able to salvage this blade. I hope you enjoyed this short little video. If you did, I ask that you please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this YouTube channel. By all means, check us out on our Facebook page, Knives and Knife Making. And if you're interested in any of my blades, I can be found at www.bergknifemaking.com. And the last thing, if you're interested in making your own knives, check out the book that Jason Northgard and I put out called Introduction to Knife Making, available on Amazon.com.